Hey guys, so I've had a lot of you ask questions about vendor events, wanting just advice or what to expect, how to prepare. And so I was gonna try to do a call, and then I was like, this will be easier. I'll just post a video, excuse me, it'll be there, for however long, and you guys can watch it whenever you need to. You can tag your new designers when they have questions about vendor events. And so I thought this was easier. So let's start with vendor events. The whole purpose of a vendor event is to spread brand awareness. So most likely you might possibly get orders, but most likely you won't get a lot of orders, if any. And that also depends on the size of the vendor event. I would say I probably get 1 to 2 orders every vendor event, and usually it's other vendors that end up ordering from me. Most of the time people that are there to shop, I'm really just there to get their information. So think of it as a advertisement, and you're there to spread brand awareness. You're there to talk about Keeps, to tell people about Keeps, to tell people about your Keep business, and you want to get back their information. So then later on you can reach out to them about hosting, joining, or whatever. So the first way to do that, and pause on that also, some vendor events, especially bridal shows, will be like, oh, we're gonna give you a list of everyone who attended. Maybe like at bridal shows they'll have them check in when they first get there. Yes, that's good too, but sometimes that takes a long time to get back, and sometimes it may not be the information that you want. So the best way to do that is to collect those leads at your table. So you have these little things, and you can make your own. There's tons of these online. This is one that I have that I got when I first joined Keep, that somebody had designed. And these are just little lead sheets. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have something that you're going to be raffling off or giving away at your table. Make sure whatever it is, you've got a sign. Sorry guys, I'm still sick. Make sure you have either a sign or you have it out with a sign or whatever it is. And then you're gonna have these out with pens, and you're gonna want them to fill out their info. And then to also ask them, like, what are you interested in? Hosting a social, joining Keep, placing an order, other. And so what you're gonna do is, as people come to your table and you're talking to them, let them know about whatever you're raffling off, and say, hey, if you want to win free Keep or whatever it is, make sure you fill out that info and put it on there. As you're talking to them, because you want to start a conversation with everyone who comes to your table, if there are things that stand out about a specific person, after they drop their little paper in your bucket and they walk away, I usually will grab it out and write on the back what it is. So for instance, if it's a girl, I always compliment a lot of people when they come to my table. So let's say if it's a girl and I compliment her on her scarf. I'm like, oh my god, I love your scarf. Is that Kate Spade? Oh, I love Kate Spade, and we're talking. When she walks away, I'll grab her paper out and I'll write, blonde girl with cute green Kate Spade scarf, great personality, or something like that. Something that will, when I'm looking through these a couple days later, it will click and I'm like, oh yes, I can envision her, I remember her. Or if you're talking to someone and you notice they've got 3 or 4 kids with them, and maybe they even mention that they're mom or something like that, write that on the back so that when you reach out to these people later, you can drop those little personal tidbits in the message, and they're gonna be like, wow, she probably saw 100 people. How did she remember me out of all those 100 people? And that's just gonna make it more personal and more of a connection with them. That's also gonna help you too later on down the road if you're gonna design for them. So if you want to do a mock-up for the mom that you saw there, you can remember, you maybe wrote down mom of 2 boys, loves football or whatever, and you'll have that on the back of your paper. So one thing good that I got as advice when I first joined for vendor events is you want whatever you're raffling off at your table or giving away, you want it to be something that you can give to everyone, because you could do a free keeper, and that I've did that before in the past too. But then it's like, well, then what do you do when you call or text or Facebook message or whatever the other people, they didn't win? What do you say? Oh, sorry, you didn't win. So something that an old mentor of ours that was our part of our upline 2 years ago, when I first joined, she gave me the idea, and I'm sure she got it from somewhere else, and I know other leaders also do this, is they raffle off a cupcakes and champagne catered Keep design session. Or you could do muffins and mimosas or something like that. And so what she does is after the vendor event, like within the first 48 hours, then she gets on the phone and she calls all of the people that filled out a form in her little box, and she calls them and lets them know, hey, congratulations, this is Melissa Copeland. I'm the Keep Collective designer that I met you this weekend at such and such vendor event. I just wanted to let you know that you're one of our winners and you won a catered Keep Collective cupcakes and champagne design session. And you know, maybe they'll be like, oh, thank you, but I'm not interested. And in that case, you could maybe try to persuade them to do an online design session. Or they might, you know, not be interested in that, or they may book the design session. Either way, you have them as a contact. So you can go into your lounge and you can enter them in as a contact, and they'll be able to get your marketing information, you know, everything that comes out. You'll have them to follow up with later. Make sure you make a note somewhere, so that you know how you, like, why they're in your contacts, you know, how you met them. So later on when you do reach out to them, you know, you're not like, oh, was she a guest at a social? Like, how did I meet this person? And so, thank you. And it's going off the door with your key. Going off the door. Yeah, going off the door. And so really think about that way. The vendor event is just a way for you to build your network, get all of this information, all of these people's name. So sorry, guys. Get all of this information and then use this information to spread out and book design sessions. And also, I still have problems with this, but, you know, when people come up to my table and they're like, oh, what is this? Like, my first instinct, I always want to say, oh, this is Keep Collective. We're a charm-based company. You know, I start doing my little 30-second commercial. But really try to focus on making it more about Keep as, like, a mission rather than the product. Because, yeah, they're there to shop, obviously. Like, that's what people come to vendor events for. But you really want to make sure that you're you know, pushing out our mission as far as helping people create a life that they, you know, design a life that they love. So make sure you have opportunity brochures there with you. I have some here. Make sure you have like a little section on your table, some opportunity brochures. I have a little sign that I think I printed out that says like we're hiring or something, and it has like some Keep designers on it. But have a little section that way that you know, because people are going to see that and they're going to pick this up and they're going to look through this. And so make sure they understand that. As far as catalogs, I do take catalogs with me, but I don't set them out. And this all depends on how big your event is, because if you're doing a small event, it probably isn't going to break the bank to hand out 15 or 20 catalogs. But if you have a large event, you don't want to be handing out 100 catalogs. That's a lot of money that you're paying out of your pocket to have to buy all those catalogs. So what I do is I use our little postcards, and you can order these in the lounge. It's kind of just like breaks it down, you know, about our quality, how you can shop, and then a little bit about joining. So it kind of has a little bit of everything. It also mentions our mission on there, which is awesome. It has pictures, which I know business cards are awesome. I have business cards somewhere, but I hardly ever give them out because the business card has, you know, the Keep logo on it, which doesn't really explain what Keep is, especially because people don't know about it. And so I use these, and then I put my label on the back. And this is what I hand out to every single person that comes to my table. I have them laying out in a little section, and then I also always have them in my hand. And so that way when they walk up, and I can introduce myself, and then my first question is, have you heard of Keep before? And 99.9% of the people are going to be like, nope, what is it? And then that's when you can kind of go into your little 10-15 second commercial. And then I will give out design guides to anyone who books a party with me, or you know, seems really interested, like stays for a long time, asks a lot of questions, maybe even designs their own keeper. I also will have my iPad out. Don't have my iPad, but I'll have my iPad out right next to me. And by the way, I never sit behind my table. I always stand beside it, or like a little in front of it. I feel like someone's here, but maybe not. Hold on, let me look. No, I'm just saying things. And so I'll have the iPad laying right down next to me, and I'll let them know, you know, they can design, you know, if you see something that you like in the catalog, but we don't have it here, I can design it right here for you. And then I also, you know, drop the hint they can do that from home too. Even though that will push them to probably go home and shop, I want them to know that feature is there. And then the next thing that I do at vendor events is have a way to offer things for people who book, because every once in a while you will have people who really love it and they want to book a party, like they're, you know, motivated and excited to that. So you kind of want to have something to encourage that. So I do something called a booking tree. It's a little white Christmas tree. It's like this big that I bought at Hobby Lobby during Christmas time. I have it actually right here because I'm getting ready for a vendor event on Saturday. It looks like this, just a little, it's kind of big for the screen, but just like this. I think it was like 20 bucks maybe at Hobby Lobby. And then I put, I can actually show you. I put these little cards on there and write dates on the front of the cards. So I actually use the little cards that come in our charms, these little things. I laminated them so you can write on them several times. And so I just take a little black marker, like a erasable marker, and I write like whatever, you know, maybe I have an opening for April 2nd. So I'll write like April 2nd online or April 2nd in person, whatever I'm trying to book. And then on the back I write whatever they get for free. So I take these and I take these little, these, I'm gonna show you. These little kind of like clothespins, and I hang those on to where they only see the date. So I hang those all over the tree. And then I have a little sign that I set up that says, you know, pick a date, win a free key, or pick a date, win a prize. And so basically I tell them, hey, if you're interested in hosting, pick a date off my tree and you'll win the prize on the back. And it could be anything from free shipping, it could be a free key. If you have a lot of retired items that you buy, like sometimes when our sales and stuff happen, you could do something like that. You could have if there's like one specific date that you have to have an in-home, like let's say you're like April 1st, I have to have an in-home on April 1st because it's the first day of the month and I just want to get qualified already the first day. You know, make it a bigger prize for those days that are like you really want to book. Don't choose just random days. Make sure these are dates that you really want to book these design sessions, and so because you're offering something for free. You could also do something if you don't want to do something like a booking tree. You could have the hot dates, which are envelopes. Take a couple envelopes, write a few of your hot dates on it, and just kind of lay them out on the table and let people know as they come up, like, these are a few of my hot dates. You know, if you book a design session on one of these dates, you can pick the envelope, open it, and you win whatever's inside. And again, if you do have retired products, that's kind of an incentive because people are like, ooh, retired, you can't get that anymore. So it's kind of like encourages them to book. And because it's Easter time this month, you could also do something. I think Kathy Gittleman does this thing where, no, sissy. Hey, go unlock the door. Go unlock the door. Hurry. Yeah, okay. That only worked one time. She does, like, she'll take an Easter basket and put eggs, like the plastic eggs that open, inside of it and kind of fix it up like an Easter basket. And then you can pick, I think you pick an egg out of her basket, and then you know, you win whatever's inside after you book. So you can do something like that too. But basically, more than anything, you want to have a way to get those leads. So having something that they can fill out, that they can write their information down, put in a jar, put in a basket, put in a bucket, whatever you have. And that way when you get home that night, you know, the next day, whenever, you can sit down, you can open those up. I have a bunch here from old design sessions, or I'm sorry, old vendor events. So you have all of, that's all new people in your funnel that you didn't have before. And if you're doing vendor events that are out of your area, like for me okay, I'll open it. For me on Saturday, I'm doing a vendor event that's about almost 2 hours away because it's an area where there's no designers. I got a pretty good, it was like 40 bucks, which was pretty good. Here you go. And I'm not crazy about having to get up at 5 a.m. to drive, but it's going to be worth it because if I can just get one designer booked, you know, one designer joining my team from that area, and I can, you know, groom her up and make her into a senior or a star designer in that area, then I never have to go back to the area. Then she's that leader in that area, and she can control all of that. No, sissy. And so that's what you want to do. You want to, you know, keep an eye on the people that come to your table that are really interested, and you want to make sure you get their information. And like I said, write a little note on the back so you remember, so when you do reach out to those people. And like I said, if you're in an area that you're not local, obviously it would be hard. Like for me, it's going to be hard to go back and do free cupcakes and champagne parties. That's almost 2-hour drive one way. And so I'm going to have to probably work it out a little bit differently. But I'll figure it out. So anyways, there's my top tips. practice your 10, 20, 30-second commercial, so that way you kind of know what you're gonna say. And like I said, the main thing that I always say when they come to the table, you know, I'm like, hey, how are you? You know, and then how's the weather outside? Or, you know, I'm ready for spring. You know, I just kind of chat with them. And like I said, I'll even compliment them. So like, oh my God, I love your scarf, or whatever it is that they're wearing that I like, or, you know. And then that's when I kind of say like, oh, okay, have you heard of Keep before? And like I said, most of them haven't. I used to always say, hey, have you heard of Keep before? And they would say no. And then I would say, oh, okay, well, have you heard of Stella and Dot? Because I would expect them to be like, oh yeah. And then I would be like, oh, okay, we're their sister company. Well, then everybody was like, nope. So then it was just like, oh, okay. So I kind of leave that out now. I'm just kind of like, hey, have you heard about Keep before? If they say no, then that's when I kind of go in and I explain who we are, what we are, how young we are, you know, how many designers there are in the between U.S. and Canada. And here goes this. Here's this. And, you know, and then I just have a conversation with them. And like I said, always mention that you're giving away something for free. And if they would like to sign up, then they could. And then that way you've got their info. You've chatted with them. You know them a little bit. You can write a note on the back if you want. And then, you know, like I said, you spend 40, 50 bucks on a vendor event. But if you get a stack of 30 new people to contact, that's 30 new people in your funnel. So that's 30 new people to approach about the opportunity. That's 30 new people to possibly approach about booking, or even just 30 new customers, however you look at it. So I hope that info is good for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to post below and I will do my best to answer them. But more than anything, just be authentic, be yourselves, share your excitement. Most of you, I'm assuming, are pretty excited to be a Keep designer. If you're out there doing vendor events, that means you want to grow your business, you want to share the opportunity, you want to spread brand awareness. And so, you know, just be authentic, be yourself, be excited, let them feel that excitement from you, and that's gonna burst into them, and that's really gonna be the way that you're gonna grow your business. So I hope that helps, guys. Good luck at all your vendor events. And one more quick tip I just remembered: make sure your display is clean and focuses on the jewelry. Don't bog it down with a bunch of other things. Don't try to use a bunch of different like display items. It's very simple. And something else, if you can, things on different height levels, draw your eye in. So I'll put a few pictures of my vendor event setup and a few other vendor event setups that I have saved in my phone in this video at the end. But just try to make sure that the focus is on the jewelry. And if you don't have a lot of Keep jewelry because you're a new designer, then don't try to overload your table with a bunch of stuff. You know, make the focus the jewelry. You know, maybe have a catalog out for people to look through, but you know, don't make your table so full and so crowded that people don't want to come shop. So hope that helps. Bye, guys.